What if the biggest mistake people over 65 make about memory isn't forgetting names or misplacing keys, but believing there's nothing they can do to stop what comes next? Think about that. Because right now, millions of people are quietly assuming that memory loss is just part of aging, that if it's going to happen, it's already decided, that genetics, fate, or time will take over no matter what they do. But here's the mystery. Why do some people reach 90, 100, even 104, with their minds still sharp, aware, present, while others begin to decline much earlier? Same world, similar lifestyles, often similar backgrounds. So what's missing from the story? Let's start where most people don't look. Early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, your brain feels invincible. You can multitask, push through stress, sleep less, and still function. So, you don't think about protecting your brain, you think about using it. But long-term studies in the United States show something most people overlook. Your brain isn't just reacting to what you do today. It's building patterns that will define how it functions decades later. Chronic stress, poor sleep, limited mental stimulation, diet high in processed foods. These don't cause immediate problems. They create slow, structural changes. And here's the part no one notices. The brain adapts to these conditions. It becomes efficient at handling them, until it can't. Now move into your 40s. This is where subtle changes begin. You forget small things more often. You feel mentally tired faster. You rely more on routines. But instead of questioning it, most people normalize it. They say, I'm just getting older. And that belief becomes dangerous. Because according to American health data, changes linked to cognitive decline often begin 20 to 30 years before symptoms become obvious. That means what you're experiencing in your 40s isn't random. It's a signal. But it's a quiet one. So it gets ignored. Now we reach the shift after 70, the one most people never prepare for. This is where the brain changes how it responds. Recovery slows, processing speed decreases, and the brain becomes more sensitive to patterns that were built over decades. Here's the twist. At this stage, it's not just about what you do. It's about what you've been doing consistently for years. And this is where the risk increases. Because data from U.S. aging studies shows that millions of seniors experience some level of cognitive decline, with conditions like Alzheimer's disease affecting a significant portion of people over 70. But here's what's often misunderstood. It's not a sudden event. It's the result of long-term processes. Now let's talk about the breaking point. It rarely starts with something dramatic. It begins with patterns. Forgetting appointments, repeating questions. Losing track of conversations. At first, it feels small, then it starts connecting. And this is where fear enters, because now the signs are visible. This is cause and effect becoming real. But here's the part that most people don't see coming. The real damage in just memory loss. It's the loss of independence. The emotional impact, the financial strain. According to U.S. data, caring for cognitive conditions costs billions annually, affecting not just individuals, but entire families. And yet, many people try to fix it the wrong way. They look for quick solutions. Memory pills, short-term brain games, trendy solutions that promise fast results. But those approaches fail because they focus on symptoms, not causes. Now here's what people who live past 100 with strong mental clarity often understand, but rarely explain clearly. Brain health inbuilt in old age. It's protected over time. And even later in life, it can still be influenced. Let's talk about what makes the difference. First, mental engagement. Not passive activities like endless TV. Active engagement, reading, learning, problem solving. Studies show that consistent mental stimulation strengthens neural connections, even in later years. Second, physical movement. This surprises people, but regular movement increases blood flow to the brain, supporting memory and cognitive function. Even light daily activity can have a measurable impact. Third, nutrition. Diets rich in whole foods, healthy fats, and antioxidants support brain health, while processed foods and excessive sugar do the opposite. Fourth, social interaction. Isolation doesn't just affect mood. It affects brain function. Meaningful conversations and relationships stimulate cognitive activity in ways that solitary habits do not. Now, here's the part most people overlook. Consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need extreme changes. You need sustained ones. And this brings us to today. Right now, millions of seniors in the United States are living at different points on this timeline. Some are still building protective habits, others are starting to see early signs, and some are already facing the consequences. But here's the key. Insight. At every stage, action still matters. So, what can you do starting today? First, challenge your brain daily. Not with something easy. With something slightly uncomfortable. Learn a new skill. Read something complex. Engage your mind actively. Second, move your body every single day. It doesn't have to be intense, but it has to be consistent. Walking, stretching, light activity. Third, stay socially connected, even if it feels easier to withdraw. Connection is optional for brain health. It's essential. Now, a clear warning. If you assume that cognitive decline is inevitable and do nothing, you increase the risk of accelerating it, because inaction is a pattern. And it compounds just like any other. And here's something to think about. What if the question isn't will I lose my memory, but what am I doing today that shapes how my mind will function 10 years from now? That question changes everything. If this made you stop and think, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment with one habit you're ready to start today. And if you want to understand the next hidden factor that protects your brain as you age, the one most people completely ignore, make sure you subscribe.